Maths is disappearing from South African high schools, and experts say it could cripple the country's future in science, technology, and engineering. Across the country, especially in under-resourced and township schools, more and more pupils are dropping pure mathematics in favor of mathematics literacy. On the surface, it might not sound alarming, but for the engineers, doctors, scientists, and innovators South Africa desperately needs, this trend could be catastrophic. Education experts are calling this an invisible crisis, a quiet shift happening behind the scenes with consequences that will only become painfully clear years from now when the next generation enters the job market. One of those voices raising the alarm is Dr. Muavia Gali, Managing Director of Sisopen and an independent education consultant, who says this decline in maths enrollment is one of the most urgent challenges facing the country's education system today.
Dr. Gali, thanks for your time. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
So you point to the sharp decline in high school maths enrollment, and you say it's an invisible crisis, but exactly how bad is the situation?
Well, at the moment, we constantly, every year, about 1.2% of students at matric level drop mathematics as a percentage of the cohort of learners doing maths. Now, this has been going on since 2018. So in the total number of learners who did mathematics in 2018, it was 44% of the learners. We are now at 36%. And so that is over 6 years, 8.1% of learners have dropped from maths to mathematical literacy. The real issue is if we do nothing about it, and let's assume for the next 6 years we do nothing, 36% will become 28%. And now we then close to only a quarter of our learners doing mathematics. But the real issue is it's not only about mathematics as a subject, because mathematics is carrying ideas like critical thinking, innovative understanding. Those are the skills that we need. It's not just about a subject. You're not getting that with mathematical literacy.
So has the department or any other entity for that matter embarked on any sort of qualitative research, Dr. Gali, to establish the actual facts and also what some of the underlying issues may be?
Well, what we've been doing all the time was all about what is called fixing up things. What we're dealing with here is a broken mathematical approach. And you can't fix something that is broken. So we constantly ask teachers to come to workshops for 1 day or 3 days. But the system is broken. And what we look for, and we should not forget, this mathematical problem is not a problem that just surfaced. It was designed. And if we go back, and I'm old enough to know that Foucault says that Black people should not do mathematics. And so that's the underlying basis, that we are fixing the problem and we're not recreating a new understanding of mathematics with our teachers and our learners. And it's not just the matric. 2 years ago, 2023, the results of the term study indicated that our best performing learners are performing at the same level as the worst learners in Singapore. And we were in the same study. So there's a uniquely difference between the quality of mathematics that we have and other countries.
So it's a sad indictment, because South Africa first participated in the TIM study in 1995. And even then, we were at the bottom of the pile. And even though if you look at the data going forward up to 2019, you do see an increase, but still, as you say, not enough, because we are still worse than some other countries that are in the study. That being said, though, we've known what the problems are with regard to math, science, education in South Africa. It's 31 years on. New systems have been designed. So what is the problem? Why are we failing to fix this?
Well, it was interesting. I spoke to Leanne in 2010 about this issue, and we raised it 15 years ago. And what we can do outside of the system is to assist and to alarm and to help the system itself. But we need the system to take on and do things differently. I think just a day or two ago, I had a conversation with a colleague in the department, and it's starting to reflect around doing what we call transformative work instead of improvement work. When you do improvement, ma'am, and you are at 5% and you improve by 5%, it means you are still at 10%. And what people can do, it can claim that you've improved by 100%. 100% of 5% only gets you to 10%. That's the real problem and the story that we're telling. We're telling people in the news that from 5% we improve by 100% to 10%, but we're still 90% away from 100%, which should be our dream as any country in the world.
So we're not getting there, and now the alarm is raised around what happens with regard to maths vis-a-vis maths literacy in the higher band of our schooling system. The reality is, though, and you would know this, Dr. Khali, children are failing at foundation phase. So there's a bigger problem here. And the problem starts way before we get to high school. And again, we've known this for decades. Why aren't we improving? Why aren't we addressing the fact that we don't have, in many instances, the teachers who can actually teach and assist here?
Well, we have what is called a quality assurance problem, what is called in business monitoring and evaluation. Control system. If you are supposed, as the system and even CAPS is expecting you to give your learners 30% of easy question in an exam, 40% medium questions, and 30% high question. That is a standard internationally. But if you now give your learners 50 or 60% of easy questions and 10% and 20% of medium and hard questions, they get good results out of the 60% of easy questions, and you create a perception that they're good, but they're only good in the easy questions. When they get the international study and they only get 30% of the easy ones, and they get, even if they get 100% of the easy ones, they're only getting 30% because they can't do the medium and hard work. And those are the systems that we need to put in place to make sure that whether you are in an urban area or in a rural place, those learners should be getting the same quality as anyone else in the country.
The reality
and
is...
our systems, what we need to look at. Sorry.
So Dr. Khali, the reality is we're not getting what it is that we need in the system. We haven't got it for 31 years. Seemingly for the foreseeable future, we still don't seem to be on track. So what do we need to do practically? Where are these teachers going to come from who will actually be able to take these kids and not somehow force them into taking maths literacy as opposed to pure maths because things are just not happening? Because at some point we have to establish, hence I asked about the qualitative research. It can't always be the children who don't know how to do maths. At some point we've got to ask about other factors that contribute to this problem.
Absolutely. So, ma'am, we don't have a teacher problem. We have a systems problem. And so I want to be quite clear. Our teachers can only do what they know. And if they only know the 30% of easy work that you need to do, that's what they will do. It's the system that needs to shape what's going on. And this problem, although we're raising it as a crisis, when we say it's a crisis, we can fix it up within the next 3 to 5 years. It's not something insurmountable. It's not something that we can't find a solution to. And we don't even need people outside of our country. We have enough capacity within our country to solve this problem. But we need to start now. As I indicated, we raised this in 2010. After 15 years, we're at the same spot as what we were 15 years ago. So we need to make a decision. How do we want to have successful mathematical teaching and learning to our teachers and our learners?
Dr. Ghali, very interesting, and thank you so much for engaging us.
To understand the scale of the problem, we need to look at the numbers. More learners are choosing maths literacy because it's perceived as easier to pass and less stressful than pure maths. But here's the catch. Maths literacy, while useful in everyday life, doesn't open the same doors to careers in fields like engineering, computer science, architecture, finance, and medicine. By switching, thousands of pupils are unintentionally closing off opportunities before they even leave high school. This shift isn't happening in elite, well-resourced schools at the same rate. It's most severe in schools where resources, teacher training, and support are already limited. Many teachers in these areas struggle with large class sizes, outdated textbooks, and a lack of ongoing professional development. In some cases, maths teachers aren't math specialists at all. They're educators filling in wherever the school needs them. The result? Pupils don't get the depth of understanding or encouragement needed to stick with the more challenging subject. Dr. Ghali calls it South Africa's invisible crisis because unlike other issues that grab headlines, like poor matric pass rates or university funding protests, this one is unfolding quietly, almost unnoticed, yet its impact will be felt for decades. Without strong maths foundations, South Africa risks a shortage of skilled professionals in critical sectors. And that doesn't just hurt the economy, it affects everything from healthcare and infrastructure to innovation and competitiveness on the global stage. But this isn't just a problem of curriculum choice, it's a reflection of deeper inequalities. In wealthier schools, pupils often have access to extra classes, online resources, and parents who can afford tutors. In many township and rural schools, learners may be the first in their families to finish high school, and they might not have anyone at home who can help them with algebra or calculus. Combine that with poor internet access, outdated teaching methods, and a national curriculum that tries to cover too much in too little time, and it's no wonder many learners opt for the safer path. So, what's the solution? Experts like Dr. Ghali argue that the country needs urgent investment in teacher training, smaller class sizes, and creative teaching methods that make maths less intimidating. There's also a call for public campaigns to shift attitudes, to show pupils that maths isn't just about passing an exam, but about opening doors to better careers and higher earning potential. This isn't just about numbers on a page. It's about the kind of future South Africa wants to build. A nation that falls behind in science, technology, engineering, and maths risks relying on other countries for innovation and expertise. If this quiet crisis continues, the gap between opportunity and reality will only grow wider. As Dr. Ghali puts it, every time a learner drops maths, we lose a potential engineer, scientist, or doctor, and we can't afford to lose them. The question now is whether South Africa will act in time or let the problem continue until it's too late.